Hello and welcome. I'm Feige Lieberman. I run Focus with Feige, an ADHD coaching practice. Myself and my fellow ADHD coaches regularly coach clients who have ADHD or ADD or executive function deficit to reach their goals. This video I'm going to address parents. I'm going to address you, and I will talk to you, the parents, about your ADHD or ADD child. It makes no difference whether your child has a formal diagnosis or they don't. Please, can you pay attention to the ideas that I'm going to mention today? We are just going to scratch the surface of ADHD. I hope that these ideas will help you to make a better informed choice as to what treatment you can have access to for your child. When I mention ADHD, I mean as well ADD and executive function challenges. ADHD has been around for a long time. They have recently found a written record of ADHD from 1798 in an American library by Dr. Alexander Crepton. He wrote in there a very, very accurate description of ADHD. From that time, up until 1976, when one mentioned ADHD, it was self-understood that ADHD covered emotions as well. From 1976, the DSM took that diagnostic criteria out from their manual. What do I mean by this? ADHD has been misnamed. ADHD is not a disorder in attention. If that was the case, it wouldn't be so serious. ADHD is a disorder in emotional self-regulation. The person with ADHD, your child with ADHD, most likely has some form of challenge in their emotions. Every single emotion is fine to feel. However, we need to pause. We need to have those breaks. We need to have the self-control to be able to not act on those emotions. Those with ADHD are not able to do this. And this is at the heart of the terrible tragedy of untreated ADHD. Up until 1976, it was self-understood this is what ADHD is all about. However, since that time, the medical world made a very big mistake. And this is the one source of the reason why the mental health professionals are not taking the ADHD seriously of your child. ADHD affects every single area in life, and when untreated is an absolute disaster. The person doesn't reach their potential. Research has shown those with ADHD regularly under-earn. Those with ADHD, a very high percentage end up in prison. And it's due to this. It's the lack of emotional self-regulation. Therapy is great. However, our coaches will teach your child life skills. How to control their emotions. How to channel their emotions in the right way. Take your hand, place it on your forehead, over here. There is an organ just there in the front of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, small organ. And this organ is in charge of all executive functions, all goal-directed actions, actions that we need to do in order to do in life, life skills. In those with ADHD, this organ is developmentally delayed. Behavior is brain-based. The actions or inactions that your child is doing or not doing is caused by this developmental delay over here. If your child finds it difficult to control their emotions, the source is here. Families and friends can accept one's distractibility, one's lateness, however they will not accept emotional outbursts and anger. This is the source of abusive spouses, workers being fired from work because of expressing raw emotion in the workplace to clients, road rage, marital and parenting difficulties. It's this. The person with ADHD, because of this delay with the prefrontal cortex over here, they have a poor working memory. It takes them far, far longer to learn from the past mistakes than other people. They don't have that visual theatre in their mind playing out events that have happened. And they just do without thinking. They don't have that foresight, again, that visual imagery to propel their minds forward to the future. They live in a warp of time blindness. If your child has any motivation challenges, this will most likely come from the executive functions in there. It will most likely come from their inability to see time coming towards them and to see the consequence of their actions or inactions. It's also about not having that internal motivation system. When your child sits down and does homework, the answers that they write don't jump up and say, yay, great, move on to the next one. No, they need that to come from internally. If your child has motivation challenges, most likely they will have emotional regulation challenges. They will have low frustration tolerance. So when they hit upon a problem, they give up. They don't see in their mind the time that was beforehand. They don't have that theatre in their mind, and that they can replay other past similar scenarios, and they don't have the foresight. They're not able to project in their mind further. What are the consequences of my actions? They live in the now and they explode in whatever shape or form that might look like. This is at the heart of the ADHD challenges. Now, I might hear you say, yes, my child has got amazing strengths and talents and it will just pass. Correct, you're right. Those with ADHD do have amazing gifts and talents. However, these executive functions, these life skills, are the framework of one's life success. If one is lacking in these, to the extent of yourself being concerned and going for help, either to a mental health professional or someone else, please understand that, yes, it's true, your child is going to develop. This part of the brain is going to develop up till about age 30. However, as your child develops, they're always going to be behind their peers in these areas. And this is very confusing because your child might be very, very gifted and talented on the one hand, and on the other hand, they lack in skills which you just can't understand. There's a very big gap. There's a very big imbalance. At age 30, that's when the prefrontal cortex levels off development, and the person with ADHD is always going to lag behind their peers. If we don't have our skills internally developed, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to externalize them from an outside source, from someone who gets your challenges and has got the tools to help you. Imagine someone who can't walk. They go and they learn how to walk. They might need crutches to help them. They might not be able to learn how to walk. They might have to go in a wheelchair. So your child challenges doesn't make them into a different person. They are the same child as anyone else, but their executive function deficits, to the degree of those deficits, that is how much their challenges are going to be manifest. So it could be they only have mild challenges and they only need a bit of help. Could be that they have more severe challenges and they need more help. Someone with ADHD is the same as everyone else. The difference is in the quantitative difference to do with their executive function deficits. It's on a spectrum. I have parents come to me and they say, oh well, first let me get a diagnosis and then I'll come to you. And I say, what for? We all live in this magical thinking bubble. Some more, some less. It's very painful, I know, to face the challenges that one's child has. It's very, very excruciatingly painful. It's very worrying. But you know what? The only way out is through. And you don't have to wait for a diagnosis for your child. You don't have to wait till you get the medication, which, by the way, only accounts for 30% of ADHD treatment. The rest is coaching, exercise, professional organising and diet, and supplements. You don't have to wait for that time. Start now. Start to get your child the help that they need. And if your child is not open for the help, we will coach you. You parents are the best coaches for your child. I fell into this trap. I said, you know what, let me send my child to a therapist. They'll fix him. For 1 hour a week, how much can that therapist do? The child goes, and you know what, because of their poor working memory, they find it difficult or impossible to integrate what they learned in that hour maximum a week. They come home and they're back to square one. However, you as the parents, you are with your child 24/7. You are the best coaches for your child. Coaching for you is the most cost-effective treatment. We will empower you with simple, easy to implement techniques tailored to the needs of your child. What are you waiting for? And these type of problems, executive function problems, don't go away. Contact us, focuswithfegi@gmail.com. Give us a call and find out how you can start transforming the life of your family.